For this project, you're gonna make an animated GIF. The size is 500 by 375. Okay, and you will have a few requirements. You have to have the text on there, whatever message you want to put. You have to have two things drawn in Illustrator. I drew the lights and the falling snowflake, and then your face and background are done in Photoshop, and then finally the animation's done here in Animate. And I'm going to show you how I made this one so you can get ideas, and yours can look completely different. Doesn't have to have lights. Oh, it has to have a border of some sort. It can go all the way around, or a minimum of two sides. Okay, so how did I do this? Let's start with Illustrator. Okay, so in Illustrator, I'm going to draw those lights. So I drew these here. I'll just show you how I did. Let me just move this whole row out of the way. What I did for these is I just used this oval tool, and I selected, whoops, I had those ones selected, so I need to deselect those. Okay, so I just made an oval of one of these, and then I copied, so I edit copy, and then edit paste in front, so it goes exactly in front. And then if I change the color of the thing I just pasted, it'll be like that. And let me zoom in so you can see a little better. Okay, and then I simply click that anchor point, and you can make this however you want. You don't even have to make this. I'm just demoing how I did this. Okay, and then I'm going to group this, edit group. Again, you can make whatever you want to make. I'm just showing you an example of how to do this. So object group. So now it's grouped. Now you can copy and paste Command C, Command V. Okay, and then with the white arrow, you could set, it says a grouped object. You can use the white arrow to select things inside of a group. And I'm going to change that to red. Let's go Command V since it's still copied, and then I'll make the blue one. So I'll select this, and I'll put it in blue. So I changed this 0 and this to 55. That's full blue. Okay, and then for the line, I actually picked this tool, and when you click from point to point, it'll just kind of draw the line, but look, it's filling in blue, right? So how can I control that? I actually, even though this is kind of annoying, it's got this little thing, dangling thing here, I select this front color and hit the slash, so there's now no fill color. And over here in the properties window, I made the line thicker, okay? And then if you change tools, it'll get rid of that annoying little straggler. Okay, so that's how I did this whole row. And you could group all of these together, object group, and so they all move together. And that's what I did for these. So let's zoom back out. And I grouped this whole thing together so I could just move it up out of the way. Okay, so now let's just say I have this. I'm going to copy this one, Command C, and I'm going to come into Photoshop. And let's make we have to use Photoshop. Here's all my background imagery. So I'll go File, New. Whoops, I have to get out of that mode. File, New. And in Photoshop, when you start your document, you're going to make it at 500. And the height's 375. That's a good size for an animated GIF for the phones. And then if you just go Edit Paste now, whatever I copied, and I hit Smart Object, I like to do that, it now pastes that in there. So I have that one there. Let's paste again. I just push Command V on my keyboard. Wait, I have to get out of that mode. Command V. And if you rotate like this and hold Shift, you could just flip them upside down. Take this arrow tool to move them. And that's how I have that for the border. And you could add an effect to these if you wanted. You want to put a glow. I put an outer glow on mine in the last when I did that earlier. Now, I use this gradient tool. It's kind of neat. I made a new layer by clicking this button, and for the background, you can click and drag, and then you can edit some way, somehow, this color here. So you could select this. Oh, in the layers, where's my layers? This palette here. See, double click, linear, gradient. You could change these colors. Okay, so you could play around with that. And I think I had like a, you know, a blue sky. It went from black to blue. And this top one is opacity. That's like if you could see through it or not. So if it's at 0, it's all the way see-through. And then, so something like that. Maybe it wasn't, if you select this bottom one and click one of these, select it like that. Okay, so that's good enough. And then, okay, so that's how I did that. Let me show you how to do the text. I clicked and I did Happy Holidays. So you just take a color. I have white for the text. And I typed Happy Holidays. And then you could change fonts. This is the font I picked here. And then to do that arc, you select all of the text in here. And then this little tool here, you can do like a little, I did this little like rise, I think. Okay, and then you can move that. Now, here's another cool thing. Let's make a new layer. And I am going to drag in this corner here, like this. And then with this generative fill box that pops up, I'm going to type white Christmas tree. Now, obviously, if Christmas isn't your thing, then you do not have to do anything related to this. And actually, you don't have to make it a holiday card. You just have to have the requirements of, and here's some different versions of the tree over here, of an animated GIF. Okay, and it's just got to be school appropriate. But a lot of kids ask to do something like this, so that's why we're doing this. And then, so for your face, whenever you have your file, I just use this cat face for the headshot. And so once you delete all the background, you could select you could select everything with this tool, just drag around the entire thing, or push Command A for all, then Command C to copy, and then let's go to this back here and then paste. And actually, yeah, that's fine. I guess this isn't exactly the way I should have just put it right in Animate, but we could always turn layers off if we want. Okay, so how did I get this stuff into Animate? The cool thing is from Photoshop, you can copy and paste directly into Animate. So let's go into Animate real quick and set up a new document. So, and by the way, it's only 3 seconds long. So you're gonna go File, New, and you're gonna set this up at, the width is 500, and the height is 375. Hit Create, and I think I copied, so I paste, there's the cat face. Okay, and then let's make a new layer, and let's start getting everything from Photoshop. We can do, what else did we have? The background and everything. What I had done, which is another way to do this, is let's turn off some of the things I don't want. I guess this is all good. I went File, Export, and you can export this entire image of the background, and I'll just call it BG for background, and put it in a folder that you'll get. And then in Animate, you can make a new layer, click on the first frame and go File, Import Stage, find the background you just created, and look, it now covers up the cat's face because that layer was above the other one. Okay? To enlarge the cat's face, you can take this second tool here and drag the corner, but you hold Shift so it doesn't get distorted like that. Okay? And it's going to be your face. You could put a Santa hat on there or whatever. Or I've seen several where they put like a Rudolph's red nose on there and make that blink. Okay, and then that's good enough for getting stuff from Illustrator and Photoshop into here. And then I could show you, if you just highlight a couple of frames and then drag it to 3 seconds, it just adds the frames for you. That's a little trick. I put some stars in here. I actually used this tool here. It might have started at the rectangle. You hold it down and take Polystar tool. In the properties, you can set this from polygon to star, and I picked 8 for the sides. And I just, once you drag, it makes like an 8-pointed star. And then I know that this is kind of weird. You can actually it's like when it in Animate, when it draws shapes, it's like they're clay and you can just kind of drag them around. It's kind of weird. Okay, and then so this is one of my 2 animated things. So I'm gonna actually push Command G to group it, and then I'm gonna right click and say insert a blank keyframe. And then if I highlight 2 frames, hold Option, you can just copy and paste this in different ways. I'm just going fast because I have a video, I'm doing a video tutorial right now, so I'm holding Option on my keyboard to do that. You could copy paste in different ways, and you could resize them, so it gives you a little variety. Okay, and so if I push return, I get these little blinks. Okay, and then one more layer. So I'm going to get the snowflake. How did I do the snowflake? So the snowflake I drew over here. Okay, I'm going to show you real fast how I did it. It's pretty easy to do. I just changed the color of all those on accident. Let me take this tool, pen tool, and I just made the shape of like one of the branches of the snowflake, right? And I'm gonna make this one shorter and cheaper than the last one because I'm going fast because of the video. But you just basically do something like that and then copy and paste. So I go Command C, Command V, whoops, take the whole, wrong tool, slow down, black arrow, copy, Command C, Command V, hold Shift to rotate it perfectly, and then when they're like this, you can now group them together, Command G. So if I copy and paste now, I have those 2, and then I could just rotate them all the way like that, put them together, and I'm going to group them and shrink them down. So you get the idea. And then I copied and pasted it again and turned it, and then I changed the color of the outline. And this is the one I got here. So watch this. I'm going to copy from here. The way Photoshop and Illustrator and Animate are acting right now, they keep crashing on kids. So I'm going to paste into Photoshop. And then from here, let's see if I copy from Photoshop and go into Animate. Let's see if it doesn't crash. And Command V. Okay, good. Uncheck Maintain Layers. So it all puts it all on one layer. And there you go. Now I'm going to group it. I pushed Command G. And then I'll just do the final motion tween. I'm going to do it right down the middle. Oops, I moved that dot on accident. When you move this dot, that's where it rotates and stuff off of. Okay, so I'm going to do the final step is I'm going to do a motion tween. Right click, create motion tween, hit OK, go to the last frame. I will make this one go kind of diagonally and click the first frame to rotate it. And there we have it. So you go Control Test and you could see your little animated Happy Holidays thing. Okay, so that's pretty sloppy and fast. You could make something really great. One year we made like, you know, the reindeer pull the sleigh across the sky. We had faces with Rudolph noses blinking on their face, all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. And then at the end, you will export it. You'll go File, Export, and you will export as an animated GIF. That'll make it one file that you can send via text to anybody. Okay? All right, have fun making your holiday GIF. Have fun.